Hello. So this is the first episode in the series about creating Libguides. It's a little how-to series that will be several episodes long. Today we are going to get started on creating Libguides through Springshare. So just as a quick introduction, my name is Ashton Gieske. I am a student here at Louisiana State University, and I will be graduating this semester with my Master's in Library Science. I have created several different LibGuides in the past, both for courses and for libraries I had either worked for or entered with. I have experience with creating LibGuides for both academic and public libraries. So what exactly are LibGuides? So LibGuides are essentially short for library guides and are used to share and organize information. They can be used as tutorials or simply to organize information in resources on a specific topic. I've seen LibGuides being used for college majors as introduction to college majors. LibGuides have been used to gather resources for specific subjects, such as posting links to articles or websites or library books. LibGuides can also be used as tutorials as well. There's a tool called Course Connect, for example, at one of the libraries I've entered with, and there is a LibGuide at that library on how to use Course Connect. So why are LibGuides so important? Knowing how to make LibGuides and use Springshare is usually a part of a librarian's job. So as an MLIS student, it's important to know these skills. It is also important for online information resources to be readily available to patrons. And LibGuides act as a connection, as that online connection as well. So, as I said earlier, many libraries use LibGuides or research guides. You can check your local library. Many public libraries will have a link to their list of LibGuides on their website. Same for academic libraries. If you're an LSU student, you can go to LSU's library page, click Research Tools at the top, and there will be the Research Guides tab under the Research Tools box, and clicking on the Research Guides on the library's website will pull up a list of all of the LibGuides that are offered to LSU students and faculty members. So LibGuides do appear to be complicated, especially when you're first getting started, but after you get the hang of Springshare, you'll find that it's actually quite easy to use. There are a lot of options you will have that will help you create a well-organized and well-designed guide. And in addition, it can have the potential to be very fun to use as well, especially if you're using LibGuide to make about a subject that you're passionate about. So this tutorial will cover the basics that you will need to start your first LibGuide. We'll mostly be going over how to open Springshare and where to go to make your LibGuide on the home page, and then the basics of getting started with making a guide. So there are 3 important questions to consider before creating a LibGuide that I want to go over. First one is what is the subject? So what is your LibGuide going to be about? Who is the audience? Who are you trying to reach with your LibGuide? Who do you want reading your LibGuide, or who do you intend to be reading your LibGuide? And third question is, why are you making this LibGuide in the first place? So what is the main purpose of the LibGuide? Is it to just inform? Is it to mostly be a place to host resources? Is it going to be a tutorial? All of these things are something that you need to consider before going and getting started. I want to briefly go over logging into Springshare. If you are creating a LibGuide for a course, then your professor should provide you a link. However, if you do not have a link, the easiest way to log into LibGuides through your organization is by going to the research guides page for the organization that you're using LibGuides with. So for LSU, you will go into the research guides page, scroll to the bottom, click the link that says login to LibApps, and it'll take you to login page. You'll put in your school's email and then your password. Once you log into Springshare, you should reach the LibGuides homepage. So in the center of the page are the options that you'll need to focus on. You will see that there is a profile picture for your account. If this is your first time making a LibGuide, that should be blank and you can worry about that later. It will ask you to put in your name, your information, and add a picture as well. So the main thing I want to focus on is the Create Guide, and you'll click on that option in the middle of the page. If this is not your first time making a guide and you want to edit guides, you can simply go under the Create Guide option and click Edit Existing Guides. This will allow you to access all of your guides and it will state whether or not it's published or unpublished. In addition, if you scroll to the toolbar at the top, you will see Home, Tool Page, and a Content tab. If you click the Content tab, there will be a link to all the guides of your organization. You can edit these guides if you have permission or if you were the original creator of the guide. Once you hit Create New Guide, you will be taken to this page and given a few options before you start your new guide. So you can either reuse an existing LibGuide or create a completely new guide. And most of the time you will be starting fresh. You will also be required to give your guide a name, give your guide a general description, and then state the type of guide from the drop-down menu. You can choose between general, core, subject, topic, internal, or a template. I decided to provide an example of an already completed guide for this next page to give you an idea of what it will look like once you started working on the LibGuide. So at the top in the right-hand upper corner of the page, you will see options for the guide metadata, the guide layout settings, and then an option to preview the guide. So you'll be able to look at the guide in the way that users will be able to see the guide before it's published. The most important part is making sure your guide is unpublished when you're working on it. So you want to make sure that that circle box is clicked as unpublished. If you look down, you'll see some of the other settings. This will include the page properties, the tab layout, which will allow you to change the layout of each individual tab. You can also use this section to reorder content, and you can also edit columns as well. And finally, to add a new tab, you would click that plus box right there. So that concludes episode 1. We will be moving on to creating individual tabs and reordering content for episode 2.